All right, guys, I finally made it tonight. I don't know why I have such a difficult time getting logged into Zoom, but I don't know. It's just me, I guess. So, all right, I know we're still waiting on a few people, so. You'd think this is my first semester teaching with Zoom, but I don't know. I think I'm just technologically challenged. All right, got my phone off. Okay, how did you guys do, those of you that are here, how'd you do with the module 2 work?
I did okay the first time, but then I tried to resubmit it for a better score, and it was I don't know what happened. I did the same exact thing, but the score went way down.
You
So,
might have submitted your report instead of your document, instead of your original file.
oh, cause yeah, it went like all the way down.
Yeah, that's possibly what you did. So I can take a look at that and see
Okay.
what happened with that. But that's the one thing that that does happen usually at least once a semester. So sometimes more than once a semester. But that's usually the reason that happens, is that people submit their report instead of their document that they've just made changes to.
Okay.
Okay, so we can take a little vote while y'all are here. We don't have everybody here, but next week we are supposed to be on campus, and we are supposed to be taking our exam. This computer is going to drive me nuts. So how are those of you that are here feeling about Microsoft Word overall?
Um,
You
I'm
got it.
getting. Oh, I'm I mean, I know about Microsoft Office, but I have learned a lot of new detailed things since I started this class. Um, what's weird is that I know mostly all of the shortcuts, and like learning through the textbook is showing um like the longer version to get to certain things or whatever. But I feel a little halfway. Hey, it's
Okay, okay. John, what were you going to say?
Nah, that was me.
Oh,
Uh,
that was Brandon. Oh, okay. I didn't see you, but it looked like Jonathan was starting to say something. But okay, go ahead, Brandon.
I was about to say, like she said, I learned a lot of new stuff, but like as far as like, I wouldn't say I'm like too confident, but
Okay, okay. So my concern is that probably half of you guys, let me get Kanisha in here and see where she's at. Jonathan, yes, I can do that. All right, yes, Kanisha's here. All right. Kanisha, we are talking about meeting next week on campus, providing between now and then they don't tell us that we can't do that.
Okay.
We're supposed to be testing next week. But I'm just a little concerned about some of you guys being appropriately ready to do that, since I know many of you would have liked to have been meeting in the classroom, and it just seems like for one reason or another, there are probably about half of you that seem to just not be too sure about all of this right now. So we can meet next week. We can kind of spend some time talking about answering questions that you guys might have, talking about questions or concerns that you might have. And then, you know, maybe just going over things that you are struggling with Microsoft Word, or even the Cengage website and stuff. Because I've been thinking about maybe just kind of having our meeting time as a review time, getting some of you guys a little more comfortable with what we're doing, and then having you could take the test that night if you want to, or I thought about giving it just as have it completed like you were an online class, and as long as you have it completed before we meet the next week, I would be okay with that. But I know some people might be ready for it. You might want to just go ahead and take it and get it done and over with. And I'm okay with that too. I don't want you to think that I've done all this work and now I'm not going to get to take the test, and I was ready for the test and da, 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 da. So I kind of will give you guys that option. You know, the lab will probably be there if you're wanting to do the test and want to be out of an environment where maybe we're talking more. You'll probably be able to go over to the lab and work over there without all the conversation and stuff. So if that sounds like an okay plan to you guys, I think that's what I would like to do next week. Because I'm afraid that there are several of you that are probably feeling like you're not getting off to the start that you want to get off to in this class. And it's mainly due to it being virtually instead of being in the classroom. And I don't want that to be what gets you off to a bad start in this class. Now, if y'all are just messing around, not doing what you need to be doing, and you're not getting off to a good start, that's on you. But I really think those of you that are maybe struggling, or you feel like you're struggling, maybe you're not struggling, but I kind of get the feeling from some of you guys that that's your feeling, is that you're not quite where you would like to be come test time. And I know we have another week, but I've just been thinking about maybe what we should do, and that way we don't have to push back anything as far as changing our schedule and moving everything back a week. But we'll just meet next week, and instead of doing a test, we can just kind of talk about it. You guys can do your test on your own, and then we can look at the Excel stuff the following week. So what do you guys think about that?
I'm okay with it.
Same.
Okay. Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Oh.
So, and like I said, if you guys are ready to do your test next week, and it'll be available and ready to you. And if not, then we'll just make sure you guys are all feeling comfortable with what we're doing. So, and we'll just kind of go from there. But we will go ahead and do Word Module 3 tonight. So let me open that up. All right. Hmm. No. This. All right, so in module 3, we are going to be working with, oops, wait a minute, I don't think I shared my screen. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. That is the one I want. All right. So you guys should be seeing my word screen now, hopefully. In module 3, you're going to learn how to create a business letter, but the first, almost really the first half of this project, you are learning how to create a letterhead. And most of you guys are probably not gonna need to ever create a letterhead, but I will tell you that it can be something that's quite beneficial or helpful to you when you are looking for that, maybe that first job or even a new job where you have your resume and you can match that up to your letterhead that you create. So you kind of have your own personal touch with your letter that you're sending and your resume that you're submitting. However, it's been a long time since I've done that. I used to do it when it was paper and you actually mailed the stuff in, and probably it's all electronic now. So anyway, you can still have a cohesive look to it if you were to do something like this. But if you're also ever in a setting where you are an administrative assistant or just a creative part of a company who's having to create the letterhead and stuff, this will give you an idea of how to go about doing that. But I'm sure there's things that you'll learn throughout this that you'll find uses for in the future, but it may not ever be creating your own letterhead. So I will just hit some of the highlights. The things that students tend to have issues with on this is working with the floating objects versus inline objects, and anything that's dealing with object positioning, students tend to have some difficulty with. And then the other thing, a lot of these things will not be that difficult for you. It's just learning where they're at or whatever. Another part that students have some difficulty remembering how to do it once it gets to doing their homework portion, since it's not stepping you through the textbook. Once you've created your letterhead, you are then going to put a command in that clears all of the formatting that you've set for your letterhead and basically resets the rest of your document back to your normal style that you want to have for your letterhead. And then you'll be making some adjustments to that normal style as well. And then you learn how to set tab stops. And if you have not worked with tabs, if you use your space bar to space, 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 space until something gets lined up. You're probably not going to like the learning how to use tabs, but I will tell you, if you can figure out how to use them and actually use them in your documents that you create, it will save you a lot of time and a lot of headache of having to realign stuff. So the tab stops are something that a lot of students have some issues with. Using the format painter, some students have some difficulty with, but y'all are getting better at that as a whole over the last few years. So those are kind of the things that are the things that stand out to me for this section. So I opened up my blank one, but let me find the completed one so I can show you what that's going to look like. Okay, so when I'm talking about the letterhead, that is just this portion of it. So where your birds are up here, the address, phone number, and all of that. This is all part of the letterhead. And when you work through this project and you get to the point where you're done with your letterhead, you look and you're like, that's all I've done, really? And I've gone through half this chapter. So there is quite a bit of steps through it. So just know that you will eventually get where you need to go, but you're going to spend a lot of time just working on that letterhead portion. And if you look at the printout in your textbook of what your letter is going to look like, and then there is a second page to it. The second page is an orientation and registration schedule for students going to college. And so there's a day 1 and a day 2. Those are smart art graphics. And so most of the time students don't have troubles with them, but you are going to have to make some changes by adding shapes and deleting shapes and things like that to make it look like it does. But that's usually not too big of a deal. So to create your letterhead, what you're going to do first is you are going to create a shape. And if you go, that's not where I want to go. Good grief, I'll get to the right one here. So if you go to your Insert tab and then go to your shapes, you're just going to use a rectangle, and you can just click and drag to approximately the size that they have you make it. And then I think they actually tell you that it needs to be, yeah, a 1/2 inch tall and 5 inches wide. So much like pictures, when you have inserted a picture or you work with a object of some kind, instead of it being the picture format tab, you now have a shape format tab that's appeared with that new ribbon that shows up there at the top. And at the very right edge of it, you'll have the size. So you can bring the size height to 5, and then the width down to, or I'm sorry, the height to 0.5 and the width to 5 inches. So that is how you'll put that that shape in and resize it. So this shape is also referred to as an object. And in your textbook, the next thing it talks about is the inline objects versus the floating objects. And this is one thing that honestly, I will tell you, it took me a long time to figure out the difference between this, because we didn't used to teach this. I would just kind of guess about this and figure out what worked for me to get my pictures or objects where I wanted them on my paper. An inline object is what is going to be on the same line as text. So if I am typing, oops, and that's not where I want to be. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I was trying to get to the end of this. And it's not letting me. Oh, probably because it's not an inline. It's set to something else. So this is set to in front of text right now, but typically they come in as an object that is in line with text. And when that happens, you will be typing on your line of text. And if you were to go down to your next line, or your text wraps around, your object is in this line of text. So your text is going to be this 11-point font, and you're going to have all this white space above it because the object is a 1/2 inch tall. But as it wraps around, you'll see it wraps around just like it's whatever that 1.15 spacing is as it goes from one line to the next. So that's what it is when you're working with something that's an inline shape or object. If you change that, and typically when you select an object, you'll get this little option menu that pops out here that looks like it has, I call it a rainbow, but you'll see that pop out, and then you can make your choices there. So the floating objects have different wrapping that they can have. So they'll have this square, tight, which you can play around with those if you want to and kind of see how it works. So I think that one is in front of text. That one is behind text. That's the top and bottom. So you'll just see how those different settings look. And you'll want to make sure that what you're working with is not set to inline with text. It needs to be one of these other floating ones, and they tell you which one to use. But that's basically your difference between your inline and your floating objects. All right, I'll get rid of my text here. Okay. And there is a table in your textbook that goes over that information as well. Okay, so in addition to your object being a inline object or a floating object, you also have on your shape format tab in your arrange section over here. This is where you'll find your text, your wrap text options, where you have the inline and then all these other ones. Then you have right above that the position. So if it's in line with text, you really don't have much other option. But if you have a text wrapping option selected, you can choose to have your object positioned at the top left with square text wrapping, the top, well, I'm sorry, what is this one? The middle left with square text wrapping. So wherever you position this is where it will show up on your screen. So make sure that you use the proper one based on your textbook information. They have us put this at the top center because we want that centered. We're going to put stuff on each side of it. And they have us use the text wrapping of top and bottom. So it will look like this one. And that way you won't have text that shows up at the edge over here or on this side of it because you have top and bottom. Can only go above or below it. They do have you change your shape. You will use this shape style section on the shape format. You have your theme styles, you have presets, and you're going to use the theme styles, and you use this orange. I think it's moderate effect orange too. I can't remember. Yes. So you'll want your shape to be turned orange. And then you're also going to add an outline to it. So once you put an object or a shape in this case, you are typically going to, well, possibly might change the fill. We did that by setting it to a specific style. You can change your outline color. They have us put this gold outline on there because that's going to coordinate with that phoenix that we put in. And then you also can, if you ever need to take your outline off, you have the option for no outline. You can change the weight or the thickness of your outline in your shape outline menu here. Okay. Another thing that they really like to do, and you will do this a lot when we get to PowerPoint section, is once you have your object put in there, and in PowerPoint it will be a lot of pictures and video clips and things like that. They have you do this shape effect. And you'll go into the glow, and they have you choose gold accent 4. That is 5 points. So it's glow 5-point gold accent 4. Now I will tell you right now that sometimes you will be asked to do brown accent 2. Right now this looks orange to me. I would call that orange, but sometimes depending on the color scheme that you have selected, this is actually called brown, even though it looks orange. Purples may look purple, but they're actually called a blue. So make sure you hold your mouse over it and you read it and make sure it matches up with what they're asking you to do in the textbook. Not just going by the color that it looks on your screen. Okay. But they like to use this glow thing. I think we did that in the last chapter, but I can't really remember because I've slept too many nights since then. So, then you're going to put your text in here. You can just click inside your box and start typing. Some people are not as comfortable doing that, so you can always do a right click and maybe not. Oops, let me get out of here. Well, maybe I'm lying. So maybe you do just have to click and type, but I thought there was a way that you can, maybe it's on here. Insert text. Nope, I'm not seeing it. So just click in there and start typing. Let me get to the once you have your text entered, then they have you change the size of it. So you'll use your you'll change your font to, I don't know, whatever size they have you change it to, and they may have you change it to a different color as well. I can't remember, but you guys know how to do that, so we don't need to spend time on that. Okay, so you have that put in there, and then they have you insert this eagle picture. I thought it was a phoenix, but I guess it's an eagle. You do not have to search for that like it's shown in the textbook. They have you go out there and find it online. You do not have to do that. That is one of the downloaded support files that you get. So you will just, once you have it downloaded, you can go to insert your picture, find it from your device because you should have downloaded it there. And I will find my downloads somewhere. And that is not where it is. So that was not there. Oh wait, maybe it's one of these. Nope. Okay, well, I don't know where it is. Let me try again and see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let me see. I will. Oh yeah, I have to save things to my thing. Okay, let me try this again. Insert this device. I say I don't have to do this at school because I just put everything in the downloads and then I go find it there. Okay. No, I don't know which folder it went into. Oh wait, there it is. Right there. That's the one I want. Okay. I wanted to bring this one in to show you that it is huge, okay? It is going to come in very, very big. And that's okay because you're going to resize it to the size that you need it to be. And because it is so large, the way that they have you scale this down is you're going to go into your picture format tab on your ribbon, and then over on the size section, you're going to click that dialog box launcher to open up the dialog box, and then the size tab should be the one that is selected. You are going to change the height to 10%, which should also change the width to 10% because you have this lock aspect ratio check mark here. Anytime you have a picture or a graphic or an object of some kind that has the check mark in the lock aspect ratio, and you change the height and width up here, it changes the opposite or the other one proportionally. If you want to change something that's not proportional, you can take this check mark out, and then you'll be able to change the height by 5% and the width by 10%. But we don't want to do that. We want to change them both to 10%. Oops, I got to turn that back on. Okay. So that does not seem correct. So anyway, I'm just going to make mine as small as it needs to be because you really want it to be, I think it's about an inch tall. No, a half an inch tall, because that's how tall our box is up there. Okay, so now it's supposed to be on this side right here of our box that we created up here, but you'll notice that it's not letting me move it up there. This is as far as it can go right now. So I'm gonna have to do some adjustments to the alignment of this before I can get it where it needs to go. Okay, it does tell you in your textbook to verify the height of this is 0.5 inches high and 0.65 inches wide. So that's what it should be once you have it the size that you need it for your project. All right, make this a little bigger so you guys can see it maybe better. When we have our eagle selected in our picture format ribbon, we are going to go to this corrections, not the corrections. We're going to go to the color option in the adjustment or the adjust part of our ribbon. So we'll go to color, and they have you choose this gold one here, gold accent color dark 4. So when you select that, you'll see that your eagle changes. So everything that was kind of orange on there has now turned to that yellow. It's kind of coming through those lines, and then the background part of it has changed to the yellow or the gold. The other adjustment that they have you do is with the brightness and contrast of your picture, and that is in the option that's right next to color, the corrections. I think we've worked with this before, but I honestly can't remember because I teach this every year, and it makes me think I've done it, but we maybe haven't. But you will see the middle choice here has brightness of 0, which is normal, and contrast of 0% of normal. If you want to increase your brightness, you will go to the right. If you want to decrease the brightness, you go to your left. If you want to increase, if you want to decrease the contrast, you go up. If you want to increase the contrast, you would go down. So they have us do a plus 20% contrast. So we'll go to the right one, and then minus 20%, plus 20% brightness, minus 20% contrast. So we're going to the right and then up one. So you'll see it's just not quite as bright as it was before. And they also have you add a picture border to this. They're going to have you use the same color that you used for the letterhead rectangle. Right. Because we want to be able to place this picture right up here on the left-hand side of this, we have to change the picture's object wrapping option. So we are going to click on our little rainbow here, and we want to do, what was it, in front of text? I think that's what the option was supposed to be. In front of text, yeah. So now that we have that choice made, we are going to be able to take this picture and move it up here and slide it in on the left-hand side of the orange rectangle that we put up there. You are going to make a copy of this eagle, and then you're going to flip it and you're going to put it over here on this side of our rectangle as well. Now, I will tell you, you will want to resize it, recolor it, make your adjustments, put your outline on, make all those changes to this one eagle first. Then once you have everything set, you're ready to copy it, paste it, flip it, and move it where it needs to be. So I have it selected. I have the wrapping, I have everything set. So I can, let's go to my home. I can copy this and then I can paste it. And it's really right on top of the other one now, or not. Did I not paste it? I thought I pasted it. Okay, hold on. I gotta copy it. I did. Paste it. Why is it not pasting? Okay. We'll try this. Paste. There we go. All right. If at first you don't succeed, try a different option. So I right-clicked, pasted it. I don't know why the other way wasn't working. So because I have it in front of text, I can move this wherever I want. I can put it right here if I want to on top of what's there. So you can move it over here into position if you want to, and then flip it. You can flip it and then move it, doesn't matter. But to flip it, we're going to have to go to our picture format tab. In your arrange section, you have a rotate option, and you just want to flip it horizontally so that both of the heads are pointing to the rectangle. Your textbook does talk about those paste options. Once you have pasted, you get that little paste option button that pops out. It looks like this, but this one's called layout options and yours would be paste option, but I've moved stuff around, so I can't show you that one right now because I moved on to something else. Okay, so if you put your insertion point, it might be helpful to have that show hide turned on right now so you can see the blank line that's below where your letterhead part is there. And this is where you'll start typing the text that goes below. Okay, I will tell you guys, when you type in this address information here and put the rest of the stuff in, and I haven't shown you yet, there is something that happens that some people do when they type this in that they get counted off for in SAM when it's graded. And you can go back and you can fix it and everything can be spot on, perfect. But for some reason, a lot of times when we're working with this letterhead project, if it's not right the first time, it's not ever going to be right. I don't know what the deal is. There's some kind of coding that goes on in there that messes with it, and it just doesn't ever get counted correctly. So try to be careful as you're typing in the first time. Make sure you get your spaces, your punctuation, your capitalization, and everything put in exactly how it's supposed to be. Otherwise, it will drive some of you crazy wondering what you have done wrong. And a lot of times it's nothing. It's just maybe you did make an error and you fixed it, but now it's not working properly for you. All right, so once we have the address typed in here, we've pressed our space bar. You see that little dot that I've that shows I pressed the space bar. And now we're going to insert a symbol. This symbol is just going to be a little dot. To insert a symbol, you have to go to the insert ribbon, your insert tab, to look at that ribbon. And then at the far right end, you'll see symbols, an equation or a symbol. We're going to click the drop down menu for the symbol. And we want just a little dot. I don't see one here, so I have to go down into more symbols. Okay, I didn't see the dot there. You probably aren't going to see the dot. Yeah. So you'll have to go into more symbols. And it is, I don't think it's this one. This one's too big. Yeah, that one's too big. But I will tell you, because I've used that one, whatever one you pick, it will show up here. Let me go in here. More symbols, special characters. No, I don't want those. Okay, somewhere it tells me that it's the one that I'm supposed to have, but I need to go to, I think it's basic Latin is what we want. Normal text, basic Latin. And then I will find my little dot, I think.
It's down and recently used, the very first one.
No, that's the big one.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I thought it was in here. I'm not finding it in my textbook real quick, so I'll just keep looking. But I will show you. It should be. As you go down through here, you change from basic Latin to Latin 1 to Latin extended. So if you keep scrolling here on the scroll bar, you go through each one of those options. Each screen is a different thing. So I want to say it's got like a 183 as a character code. But when I typed that in, I didn't get it either. Right. Okay, well. Let me just find one here and we'll use it. That's not it. Okay, I'm just going to use this one for now. But when you do insert, you will think that it hasn't inserted it, but it has. You just it doesn't remove the symbol dialog box in case you need to enter a different symbol as well. So that's all I need right now is that. So I'll close out of that. I wonder if so. This is 11 point. I could make it smaller by changing the font size, but that's going to mess it up because they want your font size to be a certain point there. So don't do that. I'll find it here in the book, or as you guys read through, maybe you will find it. And you can find the correct one. So you'll put your symbol in. You'll hit your space bar. This is where people have mistakes too. They don't space after the zip code, before the bullet or the symbol, and they don't space after the symbol. So you need a space on both sides. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I'm just going to make that bigger again. So make sure you have that space, and then you're going to type the phone number with your area code. You will need to put the hyphens in. Now you'll hit your space bar again. You'll come back and you will insert your symbol again. And this is where, once you found the correct one, it will be showing right here. You can click your symbol again, press your space bar, and then they have you put in the website, sunset.ed, sunset.edu. Maybe I can type it correctly here. My keyboard has not been working properly for a while, so I don't know what the deal is. All right, so you'll type in sunset.edu. Then we're going to put a border underneath this. Since basically our line of text here is considered a paragraph, we're going to put a paragraph border underneath this paragraph. So as long as you're somewhere in this paragraph or line of text, then you can go to your home ribbon. In the paragraph section, you will see your border button here, and you can just choose the bottom border. and it will put that line that goes all the way across there. If you need to change the thickness or the color of it, then you have to go into your borders and shading dialog box and make those changes. But you should have your insertion point right here after the letters edu. And then you're going to press your enter key. And this is going to take you down one row. So it looks like you have a blank line of text and then your underline. But what we're going to do at this point is we are going to clear the formatting of our document. What that will do is it will clear the formatting for the line that I'm on right now. It will take that paragraph border, put it back up underneath the previous paragraph, and then I'm ready to go with my letter. So to clear my formatting, I can come up here to my font section on my home ribbon, and there is an A that looks like it has a little pencil eraser there. Click on that, and now I am back at, or I'm set to normal spacing again, or normal style again. I don't have the border. If I had changed font color or whatever, I would just be back at the normal spacing and everything like that. So that's how you clear the formatting. So don't be afraid to press that enter key, move yourself down, and then when you clear the formatting, it'll take it back like you want it to look in the end. Okay, so that's all to create your letterhead. And I probably missed something in there along the way because this whole row is actually probably supposed to be centered. I don't know, but I'm guessing it is, and I just missed that somewhere along the way, just scouring through here very quickly. So after you've completed your letterhead, your textbook starts talking about creating a business letter. And it goes over the different parts of a business letter. So become familiar with those. Understand that you have a like what your dateline is. You'll have a inside address. What's it called? I just lost it. Salutation. Dear Mr. or Mrs. or Dear John or whatever. You'll have your message, which is going to be all your paragraphs. In our case, it's going to have some tables and stuff in it as well, bulleted items. So that would be your message. And then you'll have your complimentary close, which is typically sincerely yours or yours truly or something like that. And then you'll have the signature block where you leave some space for the signature and then type the name of the person that will be signing it. So those are the different parts of it. The section in your textbook also gives you some information as far as what size of fonts to use, what type of spacing to use, and things like that. If you've not ever worked with creating letters before, you will want to make sure you read through how to space and things like that. Our textbook will take us through and tell us how many spaces to leave as far as pressing the enter key so many times. But if you're actually needing to create a letter and send it to someone, you probably want to Google how to set that up properly so that you do have a date line that's been put in there. You do use your inside address if you need to, and how many spaces and things that you need, of blank lines you need to leave between each of those sections. So they have you save your document with that new file name. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get that one, but anyway, that's fine. I can just keep what I have. Just make sure you get the correct file name to to be able to submit it properly to your SAM for grading. In your next page of your textbook, it talks about those different parts that I was just talking about, your dateline, inside address, salutation. So you can look through that, get some more information about that. Also, you have different styles of letter, where you have a block letter, a modified block letter, something else that just went out of my head. But those identify how you space. Do you indent? Do you use that tab? Do you have them all single space? Do you left justify everything, or is your first line of your paragraph supposed to be indented? So it'll tell you all of those based on the style of letter you're writing. And we don't go into that for this particular class, but just so you know, there are different ways that you can go about writing it. So if it's for something professional, you probably want to do some research and make sure that you get it formatted the proper way. All right, we are ready to begin our actual letter that we're going to be sending. So what we do is we go to our first line where our letter will be. And because letters are typically single spaced, what we're going to do is we're going to change our style from normal style to the style that's right next to it that says no spacing. So if we click our no spacing, you might see a change here, but probably not. But as I get ready to type my next line, if I were to type here, press my enter key and type here, normal would be like this. And when I set it to no spacing, you see how much closer it puts it together. So that's what we're doing here by setting this style to no spacing. Because for our letter, we want it to just be one row right after the next. Okay. Okay, Tamika, I saw your message and you're good. Just let me know if you need something. So we're going to be doing a tab stop at the very beginning. Once we have this tab stop set, it will follow us through the entire document. So once it's set, you don't have to worry about going back and resetting it. What you do need to worry about is if you're copying and pasting from somewhere else and you paste something into this document, that can have an effect on whether your tab stop is kept or not. So just keep that in mind as you're working with your project for this. If you do not have your ruler bar showing up here at the top, you may want to make that available. And remember, we do that by going to the view ribbon, and then in the show section, you want to make sure that check mark is there for the ruler. Okay. On your ruler, we talked about the hourglass figure last time, and then you have this triangle over here, which is your right indent. At the far left edge of your screen, you will see what looks like a little black L there. That is the symbol for a left tab. So if I were to take my mouse and click up here in my ruler somewhere, I'm going to put those L's in. So wherever I click, I've set a left tab now. By default, Microsoft Word has tab stops automatically set every ½ inch. So if I don't have any tab stops set, I will tab, and each time I press the tab key, each time this arrow shows up, I'm moving a 1/2 inch over on my page. So if you need something to have a left tab stop at 3.5 on your ruler, you could in fact just tab until you get to the 3.5 inch mark on the ruler. The problem with that is you might go too many, you might not go far enough, and you have to press the tab key over and over and over and over again. So what we're going to do, instead of having to press it 20 different times to get where you want it to be, we are going to take our left tab icon, this little L, and we're going to set it at, I think it's the 3.5 inch mark. I'm pretty sure it's the 3.5 inch mark. Yes. All right. So now if I go to press the tab key, I press it one time and voila, I'm there at the 3.5 inch mark. So it cuts down on hitting the tab key over and over and over again. Now, end result, tab, 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 tab to get to the 3.5 inch mark, or tab one time. The end result is going to look the same, all right? Learning this skill for Module 3 of Microsoft Word in this class, the tab, 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 tab thing is not going to work. You need to know how to set a tab stop. It's quite simple. If you're wanting to do a left tab, make sure you have the left tab icon, click where you want it, and it's done. Okay? Now, I will show you, you can, if you do not see the L up here on this little box, you might have accidentally clicked it where it looks like an upside down T. This is the symbol that's used for a center tab. So if I take my left tab away and I set a center tab at the 3 inch mark, now when I press my tab key and I type a name, what happens is my center is here, and when I type one letter, it moves to the right, but then when I type a second letter, it moves it over here. So it's just going to center that based on where I put my center tab. All right, so I showed you, I said I can get rid of this. So to get rid of a tab, you can, with my mouse, will start working here, click on the center tab or the left tab, drag it straight down into your document, and it disappears. I'll show you another way to get to tabs here in just a second, but if you click this button a third time, it turns into the backwards L, and this is for your right tab. So if I were to set a right aligned tab at the 4 inch mark, I can tab over to that mark, and then if I type my name in there, you'll see it's not going to go past that point, that 4 inch mark on my page. Anything I type, it moves it back to the left side of the page. If I were to press my enter key and tab again, you will see that it lines up the right edge. So that's why it's called a right tab. It goes to a certain point, that's where it stops. Anything that's typed moves back to the left on the page. Okay, so if we click this one more time, it turns into the upside down T with a little period by it. That is for your decimal tab. I'm not going to show you that one, but you can set up where if you're having to type a column of either mathematical numbers that have decimal places or monetary values that have the decimal places, it will line those decimal places up for you based on where you put that tab stop. The next one just looks like an I, straight up and down. This is called a bar tab, and it's supposed to just put a line in there. I will tell you, I've tried this. I've not had any luck with it, but I also don't ever need to use it. So I haven't perfected it by any means, but that's what it's called. So if you see that, you know that's not a left tab or a right tab. So then it will come back to your left indent, or I'm sorry, your first line indent, which is the bottom one here, the hanging indent, and then back to your left tab. So you can click through that little box up there to get different tab stops and different alignment options for you. But okay, I'm back to my left tab stop. I want to make sure that's set at the 3.5 inch mark. Now I can tab over to that. And this is where you put your date in. And I will be quite honest with you, it's probably a whole heck of a lot easier to type in February 8, 2022 versus putting in the current date using the insert menu. However, for your purposes for grading, you need to go into the insert menu, and then you are going to want to insert text over here in the text section where it says date and time, and you want to choose, yes, the one where the month is spelled out, the day, comma, and the 4-digit year. So when we insert that date, it puts it in there. It starts at the left tab stop that we set at the 3.5 inch mark, and everything types out to the right side of that. Let me go back and show you again doing that, because I want to show you. You may or may not find this handy. There is a checkbox here that says update automatically. If you're using this for letters that you send out, you probably don't want to choose update automatically, because you may need to know when you sent Sunset State College a letter, it needs to be dated February 8th, 2022. If you have this check mark in there, let's say 3 or 4 weeks from now, I want to use that letter, but I want to make some changes to it and send it to a different college or a different place of employment. When you open up that letter, it automatically is going to update the date, which shouldn't be a problem if you use save as or you know, something like that. But if you just save over it, then your date's not going to be correct. And then if it comes down and you're like, man, it's been a few weeks since I sent that letter, wonder if they ever got it. I haven't heard anything from them. You can go back and look at your date that you actually put on your letter. Whereas if you have the automatically update, then it's just going to be updated to the last time that you've opened it. So just keep that in mind. When you're working with dates. You press the enter key a couple of times so that, do you see how my my rows are spaced out here? I must have undid something back to something I wasn't supposed to do. So I need single spacing. So technically, I should have a line of text here, a blank, or I'm sorry, a tab line here with the date, and then I should have 2 blank lines here. And on the next line, this is where I'm going to type my inside address. Sorry if I'm making errors. I can't really see my computer screen very well. Then you're going to press your enter key twice. This will leave 1 blank line, and this is where you'll put your salutation. In this case, it is Dear Caleb. It may be Dear Mr. Jones. I can't type Caleb and talk at the same time. It may be Dear Mr. Jones. It may be Dear Aunt Sally or whatever. But this is going to depend on what style of letter you're typing as well. If it's a block letter, if it's a modified block letter, if it's a simplified block letter, all of those things. This particular letter, I'm guessing it's a modified block. I don't remember because I haven't studied that in years. But we have Dear Caleb, and then we have a comma. So make sure that you get all of that punctuation in there. You're going to press your enter key twice. That's going to leave a blank line between our salutation, Dear Caleb, and the body of our paragraph. Okay, so that's just the first line there. Maybe I'll try that again. Okay. As you type, it's just going to wrap around. Once you get to the end of the paragraph, then that's where you'll press your enter key twice. So you press your enter key to get out of it. You press your enter key again to leave 1 blank line of text. And then this is where you would have your second paragraph. All right. Okay, so I went ahead and typed that line because we're then going to press our enter key a couple of times because grief. So 1, 2. So you want to leave 1 blank line, and then this next row that I'm on is where you're going to set up a table. So we want to insert a table that has 3 columns and 1 row. So this is referred to as when you're creating a table, which will be in your insert ribbon. And then there's the table option right here. When you click on it, I probably always say these backwards, but we want a table that has so many columns and so many rows. So you need to call it, in our case, 3 by 1 is what we're making, a 3 by 1 table. If you wanted a 4, 5, 6 column table, it would be a 6 by 2 table. We want just the 3 by 1. So once you have that selected from the insert ribbon, you will see that you have 3 different sections here that's all separated. If you've worked with spreadsheets before, anytime you have the intersection of the a row and column, this little rectangle thing is called a cell. It's called the same thing when you're working with tables. Okay, so we put that in there. All right. Now, the reason they only have you add one row is as you get to the end of the first row and you press your tab key, it's going to automatically add a second row and then a third row if you need it. So you don't need to insert a table with 10 rows if you can just add one each time you get to the end of a row before you're starting the next line of information. Right. So your insertion point should be in this first cell that's in your table. And I am going to all right, so in our first box here, our first cell, we're going to type dates. Press your tab key. Now you're in row 1, column 2, or column B or B2, however you refer to that. And this is where you're going to have the heading and events. Press your tab key again. And this is notes. Sorry, I can't see my screen very well over here. So I have date, not dates, date, events, and notes. No, event. Okay. Don't follow me. I'll get you counted off on everything. So I'm struggling today with my spelling and typing correctly. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I don't know what I hit there. All right, you will just have to bear with the process of entering data into your table. So if we've typed the word notes, we know we have a row of information underneath that. If you press your tab key, you'll go right into that next row. And it's really ridiculous what they have you type in here. So July 12 through 16 and July 19 through 23rd. And this is orientation and registration. Registration. And then our notes. Oh my gosh. See brief schedule on this page. Okay. So then you'll have a few more rows of data that you're going to be putting in there. Once you get to the see the brief schedule for next page, tab, and it'll bring you over to the first column, and then you'll type in tab until you have everything put in there. They have you apply a table style, and what this does is it lets you put some formatting onto this table to make it a little bit easier to read. So you can have your table selected like I have. If you want to, you don't have to, but to select an entire table, if you use your mouse and put it over this square in the top left-hand corner, you can select your entire table. And that way you can change the font sizes, font colors, and everything like that. But we are wanting to select a table style. So you can just have your table selected somewhere. You don't have to have the whole thing like highlighted across it. And then we're going to go to grid table, light 1, accent 2. Okay, so we'll have to go to our table design tab. The table layout tab, if you can keep those two apart, which one you're supposed to go to first, then good for you. I never know. I'm just like, click, nope, that's not what I want. And I click to the next one because I know one or the other one is the one I want. But it seems like I always click on the wrong one first. So I want to be on the table design. While I'm inside the table, I can come up here to my my team styles, or I mean my table styles, and we want to choose. You can use the drop down arrow here if you want to. To me, this makes it a little bit easier because I can see here's my grid tables, here's my list tables, and so on. So we want grid table 1, light accent 2. So if you remember, as you go from left to right, this is grid table 1 light. This is 1 light accent. We are wanting grid table 1 light accent 2. Grid table 1. I'll get it here. Grid table 1 light accent 2. So it's going to be this orange one. So now you see what that looks like for formatting purposes. All right, they have us select this entire column. You can select the entire column by clicking and dragging down it. You can also, if you can get your mouse to have this black drop down arrow right here, it's kind of hard to do. Then it will let you select the whole thing at one time. Once you have that selected, they want you to italicize it. So you can do Control I. You can right click and choose, maybe not, the italicized here. You can take that out and put in whatever formatting you want. But for our purposes here, you're going to need to italicize it in that last column of information. All right, so you're going to type some additional stuff in here. So let's just say that I've done that. So whatever this last date is, August 23rd is my last date of, or my first day of class. But once I have all that in, then I'm like, oh, crap, I forgot a line. So I need to add a line in. So it's very easy to do that. This is supposed to be August 23rd. Okay. So I have that information in. I need to add a new row. I can just come to beginning and tab so that I have, actually, where did it go? Yeah, I'm gonna have to insert a row there. So you can insert by going to the label, the layout tab, and then you can insert a row above, insert a row below, however you want to do it. If you need to, I can't remember what I was going to say there. So must not have been too important. Okay. So we inserted a row. If you need to take out a row, if you've accidentally tabbed too many times and gotten an extra line in your table, then you can delete it. Same thing, have the row selected you want, and then you can just delete the entire row. I would always delete an entire row or an entire column, and that goes for Excel too when we get there. Just makes life a lot easier than having to try to figure out how to move things around. Okay, I will tell you, be careful as you're typing your information in that date column. It's very, very difficult to get all that typed in there without any errors. All right, you also get to learn how to delete a table, although we don't need to do that for this. Okay, so now I'm not going to go through and type all that stuff in the table. Okay, so after the first day of classes, then you would click at the very end of your table, press your enter key. That's not what I want to do. That was not where I want to be. So I can go to my table layout and I am going to delete that row. But it did move me outside of the table. So what I want you to notice is that there's one blank line here that has the paragraph sign, and this is where we're going to begin typing. Okay. I'll try to clean this up a little bit. All right, so we have that blank line, and then we have our text that we typed. And then after the website, the word website there, you're going to press your enter key, and then we want to list some bulleted items here. So what we're going to do is we're going to type an asterisk, and then when we hit our space bar, it's going to automatically change that into a symbol or a bulleted list for us. So asterisk, and then space that over. And here's where you will type things that you have to do before you are able to go to school. A housing contract or housing exemption form. Okay, these items that are listed here in the bulleted thing, so reserve, and then, oh, I forgot schedule. So this is reserve. Can't type very well. Okay, so you're going to schedule your math placement. You're going to reserve your orientation. Once you have done that last one, you're going to press your enter key. It's going to put it in the bulleted line in, but you're done with bullets. So you're going to press your enter key again. It removes that bulleting, and it moves you back to the left edge, ready to type a new paragraph. So you will have that You'll need to leave that blank line and then you'll type your next one. I am confident that something. Okay. Type your period or exclamation point, I think it is. Press your enter key twice. You'll leave a blank line. Now we're going to tab. Remember we set that tab? Oops, I took my tab off. I messed with it because I did something and I took it off. So I'll set my tab, which should be set all the way through your document, but I did something on mine. So, and this is where you'll type your complimentary close with a comma. Make sure you get that. And then you're going to press the enter key 4 times. Okay. That's going to leave after sincerely, press it 4 times, and then you're ready to tab again. This leaves you 3 blank lines of 3 blank lines on the page for Lucy to sign the letter, or for it to have her stamp put on it, as a lot of times is the case when someone else is typing a letter for somebody who is writing the letter. Okay, so I know this isn't exactly what it's supposed to look like, but it's close without me having to go through and type all of that information in there. I will point out to you right after this section in your textbook, there is a BTW there that talks about non-breaking spaces and non-breaking hyphens. So if you have a group of words that you don't want split up between one line and the next line, you can insert what's called a non-breaking space or non-breaking hyphen, and it will keep those together and it'll move them all to the next line if needed. But it won't separate them at the end of a at the end of a row of text. You may or may not need to know that. So, okay, you guys have questions?
Not right now.
All right. So we are done with our letter, but we need to get formatted and type in that schedule for the next day. So like when we finished our research paper, we needed our works cited, we need to put in a page break. So we're going to do the Control Enter. That'll put a page break. We'll start that new page. Okay, so quickly here, you're going to center this heading. You bold it, and I don't know what size of font it's supposed to be. 36-point font. And it's going to be orange accent to darker 25%. So I'm going to go down here to the darker part. So again, make sure you get that so that you're using the correct font color. All right, here is where you will type. Orientation and registration. You'll press your enter key, and then you'll type student schedule. Maybe. Try again. There we go. Okay. All right. While we have this type, you're going to select. I must have typed something wrong there. I don't know. All right. So you're going to select both of these, and you're going to put a border around them. And it looks like we're going to do a dotted border or something like that. So to put that in, you're going to go to your paragraph section, the borders button there. You click the drop down arrow, go all the way down to where it says borders and shading. And I think there's another way to get here, but off the top of my head, I'm not coming up with this. So if you know a different way to get to borders and shading, you can use that method as well. You are going to choose a box border because you want that box around our 2 lines here. And then you're going to choose the 5th style in the style list to specify the border style. Now these are not named, so you just have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the one I want, number 5. And I want the color to be orange accent 2. And I want the width to be 2 1/4. Now, if we click our OK button, our 2 lines here at the top have that dotted or dashed dot border, whatever it's called, around it. So that just kind of jazzes that page up a little bit for you. And then we'll press our Enter key, but because we don't want to continue with this style of formatting, we'll come back up to our font section, use that clear formatting again, and now we're outside of that heading, basically, of this page. So we've done that clear formatting. Okay, and then you're going to have a couple of paragraphs. Whoops. Yeah. So you'll press your Enter key here, and then you'll have paragraph 1 here. Oops. I need to be at no spacing again. I don't know what I did, but I'm not where I'm supposed to be. You'll press your Enter key again and have paragraph 2. Oh my gosh, I'm having some problems typing. Okay, so in those 2 paragraphs, you're going to do some formatting as well. It looks like you underline, and this is maybe something that you guys haven't done before. With the underline, you don't just have the option of a single underline now, you have the option of doing fancy underlines, and then you can also change the color of the underline to match, to make it more visible, I guess. So just make sure you follow those instructions on there for proper underlining and color coding and all of that. Once you have that set, it's for the first paragraph, there's a thing called 2-day something, and then you'll use your format painter. So I have it done here for paragraph, the word paragraph. So what you'll do is you'll have that selected, you'll come up here to the format painter, and then you'll paint over the next part. And so basically you're taking this formatting and painting it over the next part so that they match. Okay, so you're at the end of paragraph 2 now. And we're ready to put in those smart art graphics. So we changed to center. Whoops, sorry, I gotta press my Enter key once. Or twice. It looks like twice. Okay. And then I'm going to center a line so that my smart art graphic that I put in will be centered. And then I'll go to my Insert tab. And here in my illustrations, if my mouse will go there. I have a Smart Art button. So I can click my Smart Art button. Right now, if all is selected, all of the Smart Art graphics are listed here. As I went through them quickly, you probably saw some headings. So they are broken up into sections. So the relationship one, if you click on it, it takes you right to all of them that are a relationship style of graphic that you can use. So you can click and through those and use all of them, see which one you want. But what we are going to be using is okay, so we are going to use the list, and then we have one that's called grouped. So this is kind of a picture of what it would look like. And once you click the OK button, what you have show up is 3 columns, black text at the top, and then the blue squares underneath it have the white text. So that just lets you see what each box is going to have something different. Over here in this little pop-out menu, the pop-out window that came, okay. This is kind of like your outline version of it. So right now I'm in this box right here. So where it says text in black, that's what I would be typing right here. So, oops. So if you would rather type it in an outline form, you can do that. I don't like doing that. I'd rather just type in the document itself. But if you've looked at our final document, we only have 2 columns of information. Right now we have 3. So we have to get rid of some of it. So if we come over here to where it says text, and you can do this in the first column or the third column or whatever. So we're going to get rid of those 2 texts there, and then maybe I can get rid of this one. Yeah. So then just keep clicking on the outside and delete all of those until you get just the 2 columns that you have. Okay, I will tell you in this, there are lots of typing errors that are made in this because you are entering times of the day. So we're going to type in day 1 here. And then you're going to click in the next text box down and type check in, and then in parentheses, you got parentheses, you got 9:00 hyphen, no space, 10:00 and a close parentheses. Now, the thing that's a little irritating to me about this is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but my screen was kind of jumping around there. As I add more information, gosh. As I type more information, my text gets smaller and smaller. And they can't make it simple times like 9 to 10 for everything. Now I need to have more squares to type in. So you'll come up here to your Smart Art ribbon, and then you'll just click Add Shape. And as you add shapes, and you'll have to do the same thing over here, just add shapes. As you need like 10 or 12 on each side, I can't remember. So you'll add your shapes and you'll get everything typed in. Okay, so once you have everything typed in, then you are going to also make some formatting changes to this. So let me just skip to the part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you have nine things on each side. So I will add 3 more. So that should be 9 rows of information. So you'll have to make sure you check spelling and everything of those all the way through. Then you're going to make it pretty, so it's not just blah blue. You're going to make it pretty by going here into the Smart Art Styles, and they have you choose colorful, and then the first option is accent colors. So that's going to use all of your accent colors, and your colors should match up with what's in the textbook, as far as the first column starts with orange, goes down, and then in the second column, the top one does look like it's green and goes down. So just look at those pictures and make sure that you get the right information. So you got your colors changed to the colorful, and then they have you also do a style. And so you're going to go into the subtle, what's it called? Subtle effect. So this is the regular one, and this would be the subtle one. So it goes a little more pastel-y looking on you. And then you're going to resize it. So just follow the directions on size in there. And then it shows you how to go in and print. So let me make this smaller. Okay. Do you guys see my textbook right now on your screen? Or do you just see my Word document?
I can see the textbook.
Do you see the textbook? Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. Okay, so this is what your pages will look like. So you want to make sure that you resize this to the size that they show you here, which should make it a little bit easier to read. But this is what your final document should look like, not what mine looks like over here, okay? Okay, it does talk to you in here a little bit about printing. And so I will just show you, since we do have an inside address here, and so we would be mailing this to Caleb, you can have his address selected. And then if you go into mailings, you can choose envelopes. And it will bring you to the envelopes and labels dialog box. This is your delivery address. If we wanted to, we could put Sunset State College here. Whatever our address is in California. Oops. I don't know what that is. So this will be showing up here. This will show down here. Now, you can add this to a document. This is asking me if I want to save my return address as the default return address. I am going to say no to that because I don't need to save that address because it's not even an address. But if you're working on your home computer and you want to print envelopes frequently, you can save your return address and it'll always be in there so you don't have to make adjustments to that. But I'm just going to go ahead and say no to this, but it will go ahead and make my envelope. And now this is what my envelope would look like. So if I went to actually print this, my envelope would print first, and you would just have to look at your printer, how you need to put that envelope in there to feed it through to print out properly. So that would be the first thing that prints. This would be my second page. Oh, look, I have an extra. That's where my thing went. I couldn't find it. And then this would be your third page that prints. Okay, so that is how you can add an envelope. You can save your file. You can save your envelope in your file, and then just print pages 2 and 3 if you only need pages 2 and 3. You do not have to do the envelope for your submission to Sam Cengage. And then you can also experiment with doing labels. I use labels here in the shop for different things. So I work with labels a little bit, but that's in your mailings tab. If you want to go in there and make some labels, you can do that too. Okay. I don't need to say that. All right. So let me move you guys back over here. All right. Any questions that you guys have?
Not right now.
Okay.
No questions either.
I'm sorry, what?
I had said no questions for me either.
Okay, good. All right, so if you guys need to hang out and talk with me, you can. If you're good, you can go ahead and take off. I will see you next week at Longview. We are in room 207 in the business, I think it's 207, business building upstairs. If you're going in from the east side of campus in the business building, up the first set of stairs, and we're the first room on the right when you get up to the top. So I will see you there. If I hear differently, I'm assuming we would have heard already if we're not going to be in class next week in person, but we'll just plan on kind of answering questions, getting a little bit more familiar with our stuff next week. And then, like I said, if you guys are ready to take the test and want to do that, we can do that. And then we'll kind of go from there, what we'll do afterwards. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, Jonathan. So you got your stuff today, or
Yes, I literally just purchased it. I had to, because the bookstore had been closed and they changed their hours. So it threw me off because of the weather from last week. And so they changed the hours to, I think it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're open to 7. So I got off work, did to go for a couple things. I just went and picked it up right before class started. So I haven't had a chance to like totally put the pen in and everything, but that's what
right?
I was gonna try to get to that soon.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't think that I would really have an issue with it. It's just that I didn't know. I guess I didn't have, without me having this, it's been slowing me down. So
Definitely, definitely, yes. So I'll go in and make sure that everything is available for you. Because some of it's probably shut off and you aren't able to get to it. But if you go in through Blackboard and you click on the coursework link,
yes, that's where I'm at right now.
okay, and then
Yeah.
click on the one that says CSIS 115,
Yes.
it should take you into
Yes, I had already set up like onset gauge. I guess I was just with that trial run that you gave us.
right.
Uh,
Right. So when you go into it this way, does it ask you for a pin?
Not just yet. I can share my screen with you if you want me to see if it'll. Oh, it's been okay. You just disabled it. Right now it's saying it just says I'm at home. At home, learn more. Except that's the Privacy Act. Okay, it says my access expired. So do I need to click on that one?
Yes.
Okay. And now I said if I'm ready to buy, but okay, I see where it says enter access code.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I said I'll successfully register my product.
Good.
Okay, now purchase course. Okay. So, well, I guess I don't need to go on to that. Well, I guess I do need to sign in, huh? Okay. Okay, now this was my big issue. My Microsoft Words doesn't look like yours.
Okay. So what?
I'm sorry, I downloaded the one that you had on the syllabus,
Uh-huh.
and mine. I don't know if it's just something different or.
Okay. Are you in a website for Microsoft Word?
Mine was. Oh, you know what? I actually have them. Let me see if this one pops up a little. That's what I had wrong. I had Microsoft Office. So here's okay. My Microsoft Word is popping up now. And I was having like the first little program that you had us do. I was having issues trying to like I could save the product, but it wouldn't let me save it in my files for some reason. Oh, okay, now it's telling me sign in and set up an office. I don't even need to do that. Okay. Now I'm in Microsoft Word, go to blank document, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, there, mine does look a little different now, but none of my none of my format. Let's see if I switch from insert font to insert. Okay. Yeah, none of my stuff seems to. I can't access any of my things.
Okay.
Like,
Go log into my MCC.
okay.
Like you're gonna go check your email.
Okay. I'm in there.
Okay. So when you're in your email, do you see a link somewhere that says install Microsoft Office?
Email. What it would be one of the emails you sent?
No. So when you're in your school email,
Uh-huh.
do you see buttons for like Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint down like the side of your screen?
Let me. No, I just have promotions, forums, updates, social categories. Just the typical regular stuff, inbox, snooze, important, send, drafts. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't know why I didn't. Unless I possibly could have downloaded the wrong Microsoft. Should I have tried the Microsoft with the let me see which one it was. Because it was two different ones that you sent us under the syllabus. Under the announcement there it was. Yeah, it was the instructions and the Mac instructions. That's what but I downloaded Office for Education for free for MCC students. And that's what they gave me was that Microsoft Office, which is totally different from Microsoft Words.
Okay. All right. Let me. Okay. So, let me see here. Okay. This is my email.
Mm-hmm.
And I clicked on, used to it was like over here where you could like do install Office, but they've changed it a little bit. And I don't know what students' emails look like, email layout look like, but if I click up here on this little thing, square looking thing, then I can see all of my apps, but I have this
Okay, I see
office
what you mean.
with an arrow. And if you click on
Okay,
that,
I go
then,
to docs.
then it probably shows you some of the last things that you maybe saved or something. But do you see where it says install Office?
No, when I clicked on there, it just said the web store pops up, Google Drive, Google Mail, Sheets, Docs, Slides, and YouTube.
Okay, so you're in. Why do you have Google Docs?
No, it's Google Drive.
Google Drive. You have Google Drive?
That's what's on here.
You don't have a OneDrive.
No, ma'am.
Do you see these apps like I have?
No. I see you have Excel, OneNote, Team, Form. No, mine is like mine just says Sheets, Docs, Slides, or like Documents, Slides, and YouTube. That's it.
And that's in your MCC email.
Yes, I clicked onto the little square where it said apps.
Huh.
Let's
And you
try
don't
it.
see anywhere that says like install Office like what I see right here?
No, ma'am, not yet. Let me check again. No, unless it's on the right hand side. No, task, contact. Let's try. Oh, okay. Nope. It still pops up the same thing. Even under my Google, under my where it says Google Apps.
So is your mail not Outlook mail? Is it Gmail?
No, it's Gmail.
Huh.
Let's see what happens if I try Google Docs. Okay, now I am starting to get a little bit different. I have Google Docs, and it's pretty much it's not the same, but it's like all of it. It meets the criteria. I don't know if it has as much stuff as the Word, Microsoft
You
Word.
can't use Google Docs. You can't use Google Docs or Sheets or anything like that. You have to have Microsoft Office. Okay. Okay.
See, that's what I don't know why it looks like that. Like my Microsoft Words, I have the banner and everything, but my Microsoft Office is totally different.
Okay, so you just see my screen right now.
Yes.
So you should log into my MCC, which you did.
Mhm.
And then do you see Office 365
Yes.
with the download arrow here?
Yes, that was under the I hold on just a second. I just had that open not too long ago. Because I downloaded that.
Okay.
I
So
downloaded that
then
the first.
once you download it, then do you open it up and install it?
I don't remember if I did that. It was, let me see, it's asked me to sign in. Let's see, control. Um, let's see if this helps me out. Oh, come on. Let's see if this will help. What? Oh, I don't know what up. Let me see something. I had no issues the other day. I was able to open it like right up. I don't know why it's giving me a problem. No, hold on just a second. Okay. Oh man, computers. Okay, one of the words not okay. It's saying I can't reset my password to get in there. I don't. Oh goodness, this is driving me. I'm sorry to keep you.
No, that's okay.
You're not
Okay,
gonna go
so
through this.
um,
Let me try to see if I can open it back up through my through my oh, the wrong one. Sorry. 'Cause I know I opened it up the other day and it just came right open like Uh, there we go. Let's see. See, when I go into the free Microsoft 365, and I basically just started over.
Okay.
It
Do you
lets me.
have a login for Microsoft Office?
Yes, I just
It
see it
should
says
be your school. It should be
yeah,
what you log into to get into Blackboard.
yeah, my school ID.
Yeah.
See, when I went in through that side, it let me right in. Because I don't know if it's because it has me saved on that side, but now, okay, now I'm in this where it has Office 365 in the corner with the little dots, and it has all the Microsoft, Excel, PowerPoint, the OneDrive, everything on the left-hand side.
Okay. So if you open up a Microsoft Word program,
Okay.
do you have access to everything
Let's see. Wow.
like you've seen?
Yeah, it's showing up. It's just not. It's not as much. I don't know if it's because it's. Let me go to insert layout. Like I don't have as many options as I see that you have, but
Okay. So up here, you see my screen?
hold on just a second. Let me open. I have to minimize a little bit. Yes.
Okay. Do you see how my name is here?
Uh,
Do you have something like that on yours?
no.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, I don't have that. Let's close this out. Let's- Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like when I go in through the coursework, and I go to the Microsoft like that, it lets me in.
okay. You need to be able to log into your Microsoft account. Um,
Try one more time. Oh, oh my goodness. Just a second. Okay, I'm able to get in now. And it's saying it's saying just a moment. Now I'm all set. Hold on. We added your account successfully since you declined the organization's terms of use. We did not enroll your device in the organization's management. This could impact apps and services. Let's see all that. Let's see what pops up now. All right, do you want to pin Office to the taskbar? Should I say no to that, or?
It's up to you. It'll just put that little icon down at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, okay, I'll just X out of it. Okay, now it's basically right where, okay, now I have my initials up in there in the corner, like
Okay.
you say your name, but
Okay, good.
this is under Microsoft Office. Let me see if I go into Word. Come on. Oh my goodness, that's me. I don't know what's wrong. This is asking me to sign into this.
Okay, and what I have found is when I go into MCC and I log in there,
Uh-huh.
I get a window that says to click a check mark if you want to stay logged in longer or something, so you don't have to answer that question over and over again. And so I always click that, and then every time I'm going to do something, I don't have to re-log in.
Okay.
So you should, whenever you get logged into MCC, you will be able to access the Microsoft Office. If you're not logged into MCC, you will be able to access it, but it will only be the Office 365, which is the web-based, versus the actual entire application that you've just downloaded.
See, it's taking me right back to where I basically just told you I was at. All of my banner isn't highlighted. I can't access anything in the banner. Now I have all the tools. I just can't access any of them for some reason.
Okay, and you have a like my screen, you have a window, I mean, a document open, like a blank document. But you
Yes, the
don't
only
have
thing
access.
the only difference with this one is, pretty much got the same thing. It's, like I said, it's just, I don't think it's as much as what you have, but I don't know why.
Okay, so do you have your initials up here in the top corner again?
No, on this one, it has my phone number up there for some reason.
Okay, when I click on mine, I get the option to sign in with a different account.
Uh-huh.
Do you have that option?
I do, but I don't know. I don't know
Or
why it's been programmed to do that for some reason. Because
yeah.
I mean, I have my computer. I guess my laptop is it's not synced with my phone. But I
Okay.
guess when I set it
So
up, I put my phone number in there. So
okay. So are you up here? Does it have um any of your information of what you're signed in with now? Like, does it
yeah,
it just has your phone number there?
no, on this one, I'm on I've opened up so many Word documents, it's ridiculous. And I went to a different one. Okay, hold on. I went to the third one that I opened up. And it does have my it has my name, and it has my student ID, and it has a student MCC, my email basically, and it's saying I'm signed in.
Okay.
But other
So
than that,
on that Word document,
uh,
do you have access to all of these things?
no, still. Let's see if I. No, it won't even let me in.
So do you have this sign in with a different account? Like this?
Hold on just a second. You said, do I
Well,
have to
like
sign
I
up? Oh, am I
like
able
see
to?
I've signed in with my Gmail also, so it has that listed,
Yeah,
but
I
you
have
don't have
another one.
anything else?
I have another. I have that one, and I have the one that's under my phone number. Should I
Okay.
delete it?
Um, I
Oh,
don't know.
let's see if I sign up.
Um, oh, so here, do you see what's on my screen here?
Hold on just a second. I lost you. There we go. Uh-huh. Yes,
Okay,
that's where I've been
I
going to.
that's what you've been going to?
Yes.
And do you put your school email in there?
Yes. Hold
And
on
then
just a second. Okay, sorry about that.
that's okay. Did you get it?
Yes.
Good.
Let's see. Um, yes, that's how I've been going in. It asks for my email. I put my email in, and I put my password in, and then it takes me to it, but I just can't access anything. I don't know why.
Huh. That's very odd. Um,
What is that? Not sure.
you might try this number
Mhm.
I went into on Blackboard, the student resources.
Uh-huh.
You might try calling this number tomorrow and seeing if they can help you.
660
Figure out something, because I'm at a loss.
Okay.
Because if you log in, like you're saying you're logging in, and it's showing that you're logged in, I don't understand why you're not seeing what you're supposed to be seeing.
Yeah. I'm not. I've been trying to figure it out. I mean, like I said, I got to the point to where when I first did the Cengage part, the first time for the free trial, I
Uh-huh.
was able to get to a certain point, and then I just could not it would not let me save my documents to move them over.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it was. I mean, I hope it's
Okay.
not this laptop is kind of old, but I mean, it still
What
works.
version of Windows does it have? Do you know?
I don't. I'm not for sure. Let me see. I I don't know. How would I be able to find out?
Um,
Windows accessories or no? Windows administrative tools. Let's see. Um, let's see.
you would think I would know that. Okay,
Windows
so
system.
I went into settings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go into settings.
Okay.
And then I went into the system. And then there's an about button that I clicked on.
Okay. So, okay. 64-bit. What the specifications? It says Windows 10.
Okay. Okay, then that should be fine. So yeah, I don't, and you're not like out in the sticks and the boonies, so it's not that type of an issue. I I I don't know. Sorry. I should be able to give you better information than that, but you're logging in to that screen that says, Microsoft account, and I log in with the same email and password that I do to get into Blackboard, and I don't, that's the whole beauty of this stuff, is that you're just supposed to be able to use the same username and password for all of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is. But I would try to call them tomorrow and see if they can help you any. And then let me know what they tell you.
Okay. Hopefully they'll be open still when I get off of work, because I won't have my laptop on hand while I'm at work. So.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if not, well, yeah, tomorrow should be pretty good day. Hopefully, like I said, someone can answer the phone and help me out at a certain,
Okay.
at a decent time.
Okay. Well, and I don't mind extending your time to get stuff turned in and stuff. I mean, I'll work with you on that because I totally understand. Um, and we'll just kind of go from there, okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yep. Keep me posted, let me know what's happening, and we'll we'll get you going here eventually, hopefully, with everything correctly. So,
Okay.
but
Okay, I'll keep trying. Who knows? I might
okay.
have some.
Okay. And you might just shut everything down and restart and see what happens that way too.
Okay.
So,